Warning, this video contains a certain potty mouth. The Grubmeister, you have been warned.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Another Gaming Podcast, episode number 9. I am one of your hosts, Doomwaves, a.k.a. Chance the Doombringer, and we're Sunday, March the 10th of 2013, and we are joined this evening, of course, by my fellow co-host, Steven the Laggy Gamer. What's up, Steven?
Hey, what's up?
Steven the Goat. Okay, Dustin Christ also joining us. Hello, Dustin.
Hi, I don't know what to do after that. Jesus, Steven.
Yeah, for real. Jeez. And a special guest this evening, we are very thrilled to have on board with us this evening, Jeremy, Mr. Grubgun himself. What's going on, Jeremy?
Hey, Grubgun here. Not much. It's a pleasure to be here, gentlemen.
Well, we're glad to have you. We're here to talk about, anything and everything, of course, that has to do or doesn't have anything to do with games and the like. And, I guess we'll get started with it. Anybody else have anything to say?
That was a magnificent intro.
I thought so.
Did I just screw up Jeremy's, hey thing? I thought he did, a goat. Hey. Does he not do that anymore, Jeremy?
No, he says, hey. He says, hey, Grubgun.
Yours was the goat. His was more like, hey, we're the monkeys. But instead it was the Grubgun.
That's right. I could have sworn I heard a hey in one of his videos, or more than one of his videos before.
I think you imagined that.
Anyways, Jeremy, how about we just let you tell us about what your channel is all about, what brought you to YouTube, and all that good stuff.
What my channel is all about? Well, I was hoping you would be able to tell me what it's all about, because I'm not really sure. What brought me to YouTube? Well, I was watching video game reviews of other people, and I thought, well, fuck, I can do that. I've got games, and I'm collecting games, so I just figured, what the hell? I just started doing it. I started doing it in 2006, and I just put up rather suggestive and questionable material, and I just kind of elaborated on that, and now I put up just suggestive and questionable material, except I'm in it without a mask on, so, it's that's pretty well how it works. And, it's just, I didn't even know what to do. I still don't really know what I'm doing on here, on YouTube. I have no idea what fucking people are watching it or why people subscribe, to be honest. I don't bring anything new to the table. Let's just put it that way.
You bring yourself, and that's enough.
Thanks.
That's awesome. I thought it was funny how you said you wanted to start a channel because you see game reviews and you want to do game reviews. How many game reviews have you actually done there, Jeremy?
One.
That's what I thought was great.
Yeah, and I think it was, it wasn't even really a review. It was just me talking about, what the fuck game was that? Zombie U. Because everyone said, because everyone was like, because I had a Wii U and other people were on the fucking fence about whether they wanted to get one or not, and so I thought, well, I'll give my 2 cents worth on it. It didn't, that's why I don't do them, because, my opinion, it's not that great. You know what I mean? I'm going to bash the shit out of something no matter what, even if it's a good game. So, and that's just my nature, right? So that's why I don't do reviews. I mean, most of the games that I have are shit. So if I reviewed them, I mean, that's just a one-word review right there. I could hold up a game and go, well, this is bad. Don't bother.
So now, are you exclusively collecting just Nintendo stuff then?
Ideally, yeah. I want to just go for GameCube and Wii stuff because my shelves are just filled with garbage. When I branched out to PS2 and PS1 and Xbox, I thought, well, that's great because at least I'll be able to buy shit and then make a video about it. I can pick up stuff of all genres and all platforms and shit and be able to talk about it. But the problem with that is you end up with a whole bunch of shit that you're not going to play. And I've got 150 PlayStation 2 games, and maybe about 20 of them are any good. So it was just kind of compulsive purchasing thing that drove me to buying up for other systems. So yeah, I want to just focus on GameCube and Wii. Like ideally, a pipe dream of mine is having a full GameCube collection, a North American GameCube collection. And I mean, that's not completely out of the realms of reality there. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
I think you bring up an interesting point there, because when I started my channel and I started getting into it, I would just buy stuff. I'd buy, quality stuff, but I would just buy stuff to be like, I need to make a video. I need to have something to make a video on, like a pickups video or something. I would buy a ton of stuff. I've since, really kind of scaled back a bit, but, I think that we've all done that. Like, you get the channel started and people are watching your videos and you're like, fuck, I need to make something. So you go out and buy a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
We're all talking at the same time.
We'll just say right now, everyone.
It's kind of the same way. Go ahead, Steven.
I was just going to say, we got 4 people here. This is the first time we've tried 4 people with Laggy Gamer here, so it's probably going to be walking on each other a lot this episode, but we're going to go with the flow. We'll make it happen, so just getting that out the way now.
Who's next? we had to flip a number. Like, hey! Like, I feel like I'm at an auction here. But anyway, for me, it was kind of the same way with buying stuff. And for me, I would go to a lot of garage sales and stuff this past summer, kind of when I started my channel. And it was the same deal. Like, I just wanted more than anything to find games, And I didn't, buy everything that I would find. But, when I did find that good deal, I couldn't wait to get home and do a video on it and that sort of thing. But I really admire your GameCube collection, because that's one of the systems, at least for me, for my collection, is seriously underappreciated, because I only have 4 GameCube games, and there's so many of them that I want. It's just not a system that's widely used around here, and I can't ever find any games for it. So it's very underappreciated system. So your collection is just badass, and I really like it.
Well, the bitch is about the GameCube is that the games never went down in price. Like the expensive ones, like Wind Waker and shit like that, they do not go down in price. Like they were like $40, $50, like the whole fucking time you could buy them in EB, and they never went down in price. So of course, as soon as the GameCube stopped getting sold, like in Canada, they don't sell GameCube shit or PS2 shit at EB anymore. It's just not even there. You can only buy PS3, 360, that kind of shit. So trying to find it is just a pain in the ass. Like, you basically have to Craigslist it and eBay this stuff. And I mean, try and find Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes for under $50, and if you can, you might as well get it, because you're never gonna get it for less than that. And that's the bitch.
Yeah.
The price. They just don't go down in price.
Yeah, especially because there's like the 1,000-Year Door, the Paper Mario game. I want that game so bad, and it's just like, I just never find it. I probably would never find it. And Ikaruga is another one that I really want, and that game is expensive as crap too. It's just, some of the other games too that I can't think of at the moment. But yeah, they just, I think that kind of going back to that, my local game shops still have some PS2 games, but they're kind of phasing them out a little bit. But I can't remember the last time I saw a GameCube game other than at a retro game store. And seeing the original Xbox is even worse. Like, I think it was the first one of that generation to get shoved out the door.
Yeah, because the backwards compatibility was so spotty with the 360.
Yeah.
GameCube.
Well, yeah, because you could play GameCube on the Wii. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Not unless you buy that great Wii Mini in Canada.
Oh yeah, that thing's awesome. It's just flying off the shelves up here. Let me tell you, you couldn't. You have to get out of the way because people are just buying them by the hundreds.
Well, how about we go ahead and ask you the big 3 questions and get those out the way real quick. So, because I got a bunch of questions I want to ask Jeremy. How about we get these big ones out the way? Favorite game, favorite recording artist, favorite movie.
Oh God, favorite game. Probably Wind Waker for the GameCube, surprisingly enough.
Nice.
And that's because all the Zelda games were pretty well consistent up to that point. And then with the new art style that came in and the whole sailing in a boat and shit like that. It's such a beautiful game. The music, to me, it brings me, as soon as I hear the beginning intro music, it makes me happy to hear it. It reminds me of the time when I bought the game, and it's so immersive. Like I love that game. It's pretty well my favorite game.
So you're going to pick up the HD version for the Wii U?
Well, see, now, if it's a physical copy, if you can actually buy it as a physical copy and not a download, I probably will. Just because, for the very reason that, like I was saying earlier, the fucking thing's not going to go down in price, ever. You know what I mean? You'll get it, they'll knock $5 off for a used copy. I might as well buy a new one and get the Nintendo points. But that's only if there's a physical copy. I'm not really a digitally download kind of dude. You know what I mean? Yeah. I kind of shun that in a way.
I have to agree with you on the Wind Waker because, you know, like when it came out, it was such a mindfuck because, one, the graphical style was completely different, and the sailing aspect completely changed how you play a Zelda game. But then I never understood why people bitched about it so much because Link was never and has never been since as expressive as he is in that game. Like, it's just like playing a friggin' cartoon. And the sailing aspect had such a wonderful sense of adventure, like just exploration. I loved the Wind Waker from the word go. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it's just so beautiful to look at, and his little eyes, how they look back and forth when he's hiding behind shit. It's priceless. It's the reason to buy a GameCube. If you can come across that game and you don't have a GameCube, that's the reason to buy one. Just to play that. Yeah.
See, for me, the reason to buy a GameCube was actually the Anniversary Collection. The Zelda it came with 1, 2, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask. So that's actually what got me into that. But I actually have never played Wind Waker, so I need to find it.
I think we're losing Steve. Oh, is that Steven?
Well, my lag is so bad, I pretty much will only talk on cue probably, so I don't just ruin the podcast. So when I get cued, I will talk, because it seems like it's a second off. So it's really bad right now.
Okay, then, Steven, what are your thoughts on the Wind Waker? We'll just lead you in.
The Wind Waker I really enjoyed. I actually was playing it last year during the summertime and really loving it. The only problem I got to was I think there's a part near the end of the game where you have the option of you have to sail the ocean to find the last few pieces to get to the last dungeon, but there's optional stuff to pretty much every spot on the grid. You can fish up something and use it, and I just got addicted to wanting to search every grid and every treasure spot that I grew sick and tired of it. I never finished the game. So, but I really loved it, and if the Wii U HD, when I get a Wii U, I'll probably replay it again to the finish line this time, because if I go back to it now, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to remember anything from it or where I left off in it. So, but I really, really loved it. The art style, everything about it. I know there's a lot of controversy with it, but I loved it.
Well, when I was playing it, like I was playing it at the same time, and my girlfriend, I would hand the controller off to her when I got sick and tired of doing something, and she would do the same thing. So it actually went better that way. Like to do the controller handoff. I finished Twilight Princess the same way. We finished it kind of in tandem, so that you can play more of it and help the other person out and, look up fucking hints online and shit like that while the other person's playing it, so that you never really get sick of it. And as soon as the other person can't finish a boss battle and they go, well, fuck this, here, you take the controller, you're like, okay, well, you watched the mistakes that have been made by the other player and you go into it. And so I kind of played it that way. It was like the handoff playing of it. So I never really got sick of the fishing part. That it just, we both did it at the same time.
That's pretty cool. Like the you and your girlfriend play together a lot. That's something that my wife and I don't do at all. And it's not that she hates video games, but it's just not something. She doesn't want to sit up here in my game room and play games with me. So that's pretty cool. I like that.
Yes, indeed.
All right, what's next? Movie.
Oh, movie.
Yeah.
Star Trek II: Wrath of Khan.
Yeah. See,
I
here's
still
the
need
thing.
to watch those.
Here's the thing. I was joking around with these guys because we were talking about what all we were going to talk about on the podcast, and I was like, "There's no way I'm going to have Grubgun on the channel or on the podcast, and we're not going to eventually get to Star Trek or Doctor Who." So I'm sorry. That was just I had a little
Here
fist
it goes.
bump there. Yeah, here it fucking goes. Get ready. This is supposed to be a
the thing is, with Wrath of Khan, you can't really watch it as a standalone movie. You kind of have to watch the trilogy. You have to watch, you have to watch Wrath of Khan. You have to watch Search for Spock and Voyage Home because it's a complete story there. So Wrath of Khan is my favorite because I've seen it so many times. I've probably seen it over 100 times, and I've seen it in IMAX, and I've seen it at midnight showings, and I would every time they put it in a theater for some kind of anniversary shit like that, I went and saw it. I just love Kirk is the best movie. Kirk is the best Kirk, and I mean he knocks it out of the park in that movie. Yeah. I mean it's just fucking amazing.
I mean I love Leonard Nimoy's direction of the next two movies, but I really wish that Nicholas Meyer had just done like all the movies because he gets it. The way to do Star Trek battles is submarines. That's exactly how it should be. And not like Next Generation movies where it's like, oh, look at the Enterprise doing flips on itself. You know, that's bullshit. Looking at you, Nemesis. But the way that slow sort of tactical battle in Star Trek II, where they're in the Matara Nebula, is just mind-blowing, still to this day.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts. I can't wait for that. Well, I mean, I could probably recite the entire movie along with it, because I've seen it so many times. It's spectacular to me.
Thoughts on Star Trek 2, guys?
I haven't seen any of them actually. I'm really behind on Star Trek. I actually started to watch the original series a while back, and I made it like 10 episodes in. And I just haven't gone back to it, but I procrastinate on TV shows a lot. But I'd like to pick up all of the films actually. I have 2, and I have 6 that I just found. Yesterday, actually, but I haven't watched any of them yet because I'd like to watch them in order anyway.
Well, those are 2 of the best because they're both directed by Nicholas Meyer.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
But I'd still like to get 1, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, you have to sit through Star Trek the motion picture, though. You have to, I don't know how long that fucking thing is, 8 hours or something like that? But
there's like 4 different cuts of it. You have to, depends on what cut you find.
Yeah. Well, I mean, of course, when a super bonus extended cut, producers, fucking director's cut or whatever came out, I bought that, and it's such a cool movie because you get to see these guys in a quote unquote modern setting instead of polyester suits and shit like that. And you get the idea in that how important Kirk is to Starfleet. It really sets out how important he is, and how important the Enterprise is with its original crew. And everything after that is fucking gravy. You just fall right into it.
Now, what did you think of Oh, sorry, it's Chance. Go ahead.
I was just saying, I almost bought the Blu-ray pack that has all the movies in it, but I haven't done that yet. That's all I was going to say.
Yeah.
Get on that.
What did you think of the Abrams movies? Or the Abrams movie and then the next one coming out?
Yeah, the new Star Trek movie. I didn't like that at all.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. In fact, that was the last movie that I actually saw in the theater. All those years when it
was
came
that
out,
bad that it just wiped you from the theater to begin. Yeah.
Well, yeah. It's not Star Trek. Just because it has the fucking Enterprise in it. I mean, they screwed up the mythos to the point where it's not real anymore. Just because, Picard and that shit didn't want to do any more movies doesn't mean you have to remake fucking Star Trek, for Christ's sake. It already has an established storyline, an established thing. You don't, I just personally, I thought that they wrecked it. You know what I mean? It's a broken movie.
So would you have preferred them to do like a DS9 movie then or something?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I love DS9. Of all the series, DS9 was my favorite series. It was the most real human series that there is. Benjamin Sisko is one of the best fucking captains around. And I mean, it's the most hated series, but next to Voyager.
I think Voyager and Enterprise are worse than that.
Well, Enterprise got Bakula in it. I mean, for fuck's sake. I cannot believe they fucking stuck fucking Bakula in there. I mean, what the fuck kind of casting were they even? Who didn't want the role that they had to go down a list and said, well, okay, these 10 people don't want to do it. Bakula? All right.
Yeah.
Fuck it, just stick Bakula. I mean, like it's an okay series. Like I watched it all the way through. It's okay. It has all the Star Trek elements in it, but fuck, man. Every time I saw Bakula on the screen, I was just thinking, man, he's just happy to get a paycheck at this point.
Oh shit, I'm having fun right now.
Well, you can tell that Grubgun is definitely a very passionate person.
I will say one more thing, and then I'm going to get off Star Trek, because this is supposed to be about video games. But DS9 in the Pale Moonlight, that episode, if you do not believe that Benjamin Sisko is a badass, you need to watch In the Pale Moonlight, where he basically goes against everything that the Federation stands for to try to win this war. It's ridiculous.
Is that the one where he was...
It's a fake! That one.
Yeah,
he fights the Romulans. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, totally. Oh no, he's a badass. And the way that it resolves itself, Deep Space Nine resolves itself, you cannot believe they would do that in a Star Trek series. You can't believe it would come to that point at the end. No other series fucking did that. No other series had the fucking balls to do what it did. And you know, there were shitty episodes and there's bad characters in it, but. You know, it has the best, most realized bad guy, Gul Dukat. Oh, yeah.
He's so fucking good, and he's so fucking bad. You know, he's such a bad guy, but every time he's on, you can't wait to fucking see him on there.
Yeah.
You know, and Garrick, the tailor, such a good fucking character, an amazing character.
I don't even want to talk about Garrick, because we'll talk for like the next hour about fucking Deep Space Nine. So let's just end the Star Trek talk here, and let's move on to your favorite.
Yeah, welcome to the All Star Trek podcast. You know.
Well, you guys haven't even hit Doctor Who yet, so.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, well, we haven't even got there yet. I could go on all day about that shit.
You guys might have to do like a mini-sode of Doctor Who talk. But anyway, we'll move on.
Yeah, let's move on.
Okay.
You got a favorite recording artist?
Oh God. Oh shit. I don't know. I'm not prepared for that one. I mean, when I was younger, the Rolling Stones and Pink Floyd were two of my favorite bands. Like I've always thought that they could do no wrong. You know what I mean? And so I mean, those two are to me like they every time I hear the songs, I get sent right back to my youth when. You know, I was listening to those bands, and it made me appreciate music and made me appreciate fucking recording. Like I said, they can do no wrong in my eyes. But modern day, I don't know, man. Probably not much. I do like. There's a Welsh rap group called Goldie Lookin' Chain, and I love their shit.
Let me ask you something, Jeremy, because when you talked about Pink Floyd and the Rolling Stones, it made me think of something. Because back when I was younger, I was really into Nirvana. And, of course, now, you know, Nirvana is just a corporate, you know, credit card, basically. You know, when they release a new Nirvana CD, it's just so they can put their books in the black. Does the over marketization of Pink Floyd and the Rolling Stones like diminish it for you in any way? Because I know, like for me, I have a hard time going back to any Nirvana CD other than Unplugged in New York, and just because it's just like it's become such a corporate thing. Like you can go to fucking Walmart, and buy a Nirvana T-shirt, you know. So does that affect your enjoyment of the music at all?
Well, not really, no, because it's kind of one of those things where it is what it is, no matter when you listen to it. Like I'm jealous of people, you know, kids who haven't heard it yet and are going to listen to it and think this is fucking amazing. It's kind of timeless.
Yeah.
It's unless you go right back to the very beginning shit. It's just timeless. There's no real genre going on there. It's a Pink Floyd record, right? And whether you listen to Dark Side of the Moon or fucking metal or any of those things, you can listen to it now and think, well, that's contemporary music. It's as good now as it was then. So I mean, putting out remasters and shit like that, it's only going to get more people listening to it. And I mean, that's the thing. As long as you can keep it going, that's fine with me. It doesn't. I mean, I'd love to be able to buy a Pink Floyd T-shirt at Walmart. You know what I mean? That'd be awesome.
Okay.
I always thought, my dad has this thought too a lot. When we think about bands from like the 70s and things like that, they have such staying power and they're still on the radio and very prominent. And it's bands from like his parents' generation. That you don't hear that. He often would say to me, when I would listen to stuff from like the 60s and 70s, he'd say, I wouldn't be caught dead listening to the shit my parents listened to. I was like, well, okay, I understand. But then I think again, and I think about a lot of today's music and how it won't have staying power either. But, the stuff from the 60s and 70s, they'll be listening to the Beatles and to the Rolling Stones and Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin for years and years and years and years and years and years, but no one's going to give two shits about One Direction or the Jonas Brothers, next year.
Justin Bieber and Taylor Swift will be around forever, Chance. They'll be around forever.
maybe to you, but they will die. They will get married and have trailer trash children together.
There you go.
But anyway, let's move on. Unless Steven has something to add. Steven, it is your turn to talk.
Yes, I get a chance. Star Trek. I'm going all the way back to that. My thoughts.
All right.
Wait. Star Trek? Is that what you just said? You said
Star
Trek. Got an E in it.
I'm a country boy. You have to deal with Star Trek. Anyways, I didn't watch the old ones either. My buddy has them on DVD, and he won't let me borrow them. He wants me to sit in and watch them with a marathon. So the new one, I loved it because it was like a good start for, I guess, a person like me who hasn't seen anything. Well, you haven't seen the old ones? Well, here we go. We're going to redo it for you in our own way. And I thought it was awesome. So just like the action and everything in it. And I don't know if it is Star Trek or what Star Trek was supposed to be, but I thought it was great. But I actually wanted to ask Jeremy some more questions. I have another question for him, one I need to know an answer to.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so Jeremy, for once, Dustin's not the older guy on set here. Jeremy's got us beat, and you would think, he kind of grew up with the NES, Super Nintendo. What is all the hate with the carts, man? What's all the hate with them?
Well, what the fuck is up with the cartridge, man? I mean, you gotta, too much can go wrong with that shit. Like, and the thing is it's not really the cartridges themselves, it's the systems, because you end up with these systems and you jammed a cartridge in and out of it like fucking 5,000 times. And eventually, like when I got my Nintendo 64 out of the storeroom and I was plugging games into it and it wasn't working, and people were like, well, clean the slot. And I was like, clean the fucking slot? Why the fuck? What kind of fucking technology do you have to go in and get a fucking Q-tip and fucking alcohol and clean fucking metal pins on something, and then go in with a piece of fucking T-shirt and a credit card and clean the fucking slot out? That's bullshit. And I mean, I back in the day, like everything just worked. You put the fucking Super Nintendo cartridge in 1,000,000 times and it works, and the Atari 2600, it never fucking stopped working. But now, it's whatever, how many years later, 20 fucking years later, and they've decided that, well, no, we're dusty and the contacts have gone green. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't, like, holy crap. It's not really it's just the idea of the cartridge that I don't like. It breathing into it just ended up fucking it up more and more. And, now when I get new cartridges, and like I said, I got to get out a fucking Q-tip and rubbing alcohol, that's not gaming. That stops being fun. it spoils the thrill. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm getting a black screen. Maybe it's the cartridge. Maybe it's the system. Maybe it's, maybe who knows? And like I said, you get that Q-tip and it comes out and it's fucking green on the end after you've cleaned the contacts. Games shouldn't go green as far as I'm concerned. So it's one of those too many fuck-ups. Like, how come you put a cartridge in and then it doesn't work and you take it out and put it back in and then it works? I mean, for fuck's sakes, there's no consistency there. You know what I mean? It's just, it drives me nuts.
It's crazy because I think everyone has the exact opposite with CD-based games of them being scratched all like crazy and not working. I just found it interesting because Grubgun he wanted to get Nintendo GameCube stuff, and I was like, wow, you think person like of his stature would probably want to do the older retro thing, but so it was so amazing to hear he had all these frustration with carts. And then when Chance did that trade and he got the Super Nintendo, that knowing his luck, nothing worked in it. I just thought it was just, what are the odds that happens? Yeah, oh, of course, so it happened to Grubgun.
Well, no, but that was all my fault. That was all down to me. I got it, when I got the system, I plugged it in, and I just started sticking fucking cartridges in it, and of course, all the contacts were fucking green. The inside of the fucking Super Nintendo, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I had to go in there with a piece of credit card and T-shirt and rubbing alcohol and clean out the contacts. As soon as I did that, they worked. It worked perfectly fine. But, like, holy Jesus, like, what the fuck? I have to clean things in order to play them? Like, for Christ's sakes. It drove me nuts. And the thing is, like, when I was a kid, everything was like cartridges. I grew up, like, my first system was the Atari 2600. I got it for Christmas when I was a kid. I still have my very first 2600. And, like, cartridges. It was the standard. Everything was cartridge-based. And, like, even still, the old sticking the fucking old Nintendo and the NES in and then pushing it down and stuff, I fucking hate that shit. It's just such a rigmarole that I can't believe I put up with that shit for fucking 20 years. And as soon as a disc came out, I'm like, well, discs, there you go. That's the wave of the future. I'm sticking to discs. You can stick them in peanut butter and then fucking wipe them off, and you know what I mean? They'll still work. Stick a fucking cartridge in peanut butter, and you basically have to throw it out. So that's, you know what I mean? Like, as long as you're careful with the disc, it's fine. I don't have any problems with any of my disc systems. Like, the disc cartridges, like, wow, I can't believe I put up with that for so many years.
That's awesome. I always wanted the clear answer on that, and I think we got it now.
Yeah.
Okay. I had a friend whose kid dumped ranch dressing in his PlayStation 2 once, and that really messed up the disc-based system there. So I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's not an advisable thing to do. You know, you it's not really, like, you can understand how that would screw up the lens. But, like, if you avoid doing, putting salad dressing in your system, like, all of my old systems, like my Xbox, I had it in storage for fucking 5 years, and I pulled it out, plugged it in, stuck a disc in, it worked. Now that's a classic example of, like, how a disc-based system is supposed to be. It just fucking works. If the disc is working, if the disc is clean and the lens is clean, it's gonna fucking work. And, like, the cartridge, like I said, I'm not blowing into another fucking cartridge in my life. Like, it's just not going to happen. Like, fuck that shit. If I can wipe it off on my T-shirt and stick it in a slot, I'm down with that.
And you don't have to worry about batteries going dead in them, though, for saves.
Fuck, I forgot about that. The battery, yeah, for sure.
Woo!
Holy shit. That's fucking bullshit right there. And it's so easy to get into a Super Nintendo cartridge to change the battery. It's fucking simple, and you just grab a fucking. No, it's not simple. It's a pain in the ass. It's a fucking next to impossible. So, it's that. Oh, geez, thanks. Yeah, there you go. Batteries. Fuck, I forgot. Ridiculous.
I just want to say that I'm looking at my computer screen, and as Jeremy's, like, ranting about this, I'm looking at his picture on Skype, and it's like his picture is screaming at me.
I know, it's awesome. And I had another one. I had another one for you, Jay. I actually have Another question for Jeremy, then, a kind of a group thing that might lead to a big discussion. But Jeremy, one of your best videos that I've watched at least 10 times now is, I've mentioned it before, whatever you do, you're awesome. I believe that's the title of it. I call it the Jerry Maguire video of the gaming community. I want to know, what led you to, were there some events that happened to making you want to put that video up? Because it seemed like something just like tipped you over the edge, and it was awesome. I loved it. What kind of made you want to make that video and get it out there?
Yeah, that was when I got the Wii U, and when I first got the Wii U, I bigged it up for so long. I'm like, okay, tomorrow's, in a week I'm getting it, in 2 days I'm getting it. And then the day that it was supposed to come out, I didn't put up anything. And I kept getting messages from people saying, are you going to do one or not? Don't let, I'm not going to say the name, don't let this person dissuade you from putting up a video. And somebody was bad-mouthing pickup videos and unboxings, that they were just like, everybody does it, why, it's, you only really need to watch one, and so I started doing a little snooping around and seeing what was going on behind the scenes there, and, that's the thing, YouTube is for doing like what we do. It's what we fucking do. We unbox shit. We show fucking shitty video games and talk about them, and that's all we fucking do. That's it. I mean, there are variations. There's gameplay. There's commentary. There's that. But that's fucking it. I mean, none of us are doing anything that's so amazingly original that we have we're trendsetters or anything. We just do what we do. So to say that unboxings are passé and this is why do people do it and stuff like that, it's what we do. That's the thing that we're here for. So if we're not going to do that, if we're not going to unbox shit, if we're not going to do pickup videos, if we're not going to do fucking gameplay commentary, well, what the fuck is left? What is left? Are we just going to sit there and stare in the camera and say, well, I had a good day, it's been a lovely day, the sun's out, unless we have something to show and something to do, we're fucking just a bunch of talking heads with saying bullshit that no one's going to watch, really. So, I mean, it came down to that. It was, I was getting kind of, there was just this kind of rigmarole with my Wii U unboxing behind the scenes that I had no idea about. Like I said, I was getting messages like, don't let such and such dissuade you from doing it. Are you going to do one or not? And 4 or 5 people messaged me like, oh, come on, have you decided not to do it because of this? And I'm like, I didn't even know what was going on because I was having such a trouble with the Wii U update that I missed all that. I didn't see any of that shit happening. So it was like the end of the day, I'm watching and I realized what had been going on, and I thought, well, fuck this. And the thing is the video didn't start out that way. I didn't intend to bitch so much, believe it or not. And it just all of a sudden I just started saying exactly that. Whatever you do on here, it's fucking awesome because it's what we do. Everybody's going to do the same fucking thing. Everyone, us 4 sitting here, we all are guilty of doing fucking exactly that. Look what I got. I'm going to take it out of the box. Well, if that's not interesting, well, then, fuck off then. Don't fucking watch it. Go watch the turtle. Go watch somebody fucking have a video of their pet turtle. That's probably more interesting. Or keyboard kitty. Just have a fucking endless loop of keyboard kitty and just go with that because that's original. So just that's really where the origin of that came from. It's just kind of just do what you do and don't let anybody fucking tell you that it's boring. Don't let anybody tell you that you shouldn't be doing it or you should come up with something new. Or we're not going to come up with something new. Nobody's going to come up with something new. What are we going to do? Do it underwater? You know what I mean? When we do pickup videos out in the wild, when we film shit out in the wild, it's all been done. We've seen it all. But it's up to us to find interesting things about it. You know what I mean? It's up to the individual. It's not up to, the fucking global community. Oh, well, that's boring now, so you shouldn't do it. So, yeah, that's pretty well where that came from. And thanks for that. It's one of the videos that, like, I put it up and I never looked at I never checked to see how many comments were on it. Like, I just basically went to bed after that. And I woke up in the morning and there were, like, fucking 35 comments on it. And I was like, holy shit, I blew up the internet. I broke the internet.
It's like you said, you kind of like, you didn't start off that way in the video, and it just kind of, it went into it, like it just came out natural, like it needed to be said, so I thought it was great. And it was cool because, I know just recently, even here a couple days ago, I'm not going to mention the name of the person who did it, but Dustin had someone make a comment on one of his videos, and I'm just thinking, this was Dustin's thought on this game, it's his opinion, and the person just flat out said, you totally didn't understand the game. And he came off as a complete tool. And I'm thinking, what's going through a person's head? This is this guy's thoughts. This is what he felt on it. And what was your initial reaction, Dustin? Like when you see something like this, Chance, Jeremy, anyone, it's your opinion on a game. When you see someone say like you didn't understand it, how would that make you feel once you saw it?
I am an Irish redhead. So whenever I see something like that, I immediately flash with anger. Like, why are you wasting your, okay, you don't like my video, I get that. Why are you wasting your time typing something out to, call me out on this? And with this guy, I didn't really feel like he was really being, I didn't feel like he was being a troll at all. I just felt like, I was just kind of like, why are you doing this? And he did actually apologize. And
yeah, he did.
Yeah, and that right there, honestly, that right there restored my faith in the humanity of the internet, because no one fucking apologizes for anything on the internet. And the one that really set me off, and I can't remember what video it was on, but it was the one dude that basically said, I don't care about humanity because I buy video games and I'm not trying to save the world. And
oh yeah, I remember that one.
That's that kind of bullshit. That's where I'm like, all right, this guy's going to get it. And I pretty much unloaded on him, but I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I shouldn't respond, but other times I feel like, nah, I need to respond and just take this guy down a peg. So, trolls.
Well, I mean, opinion can't be wrong. If it's your opinion on a game and you're reviewing it for your own and what you thought of it, it can't be wrong by definition. If someone else doesn't agree, well, good for them. They had fun with the game and you didn't, or vice versa. Like you can't fault somebody on what they think about something just superficial, like a fucking video game. That's the thing. Like it's a joke to especially if they leave a comment like, well, you're wrong. It's the game was good. Well, fuck, good. I'm glad you had fun with it. I didn't. That's why I don't review games, because most of the time I think that there are very few games that are fucking awesome all the way through. There's always an issue, and if you point it out, inevitably you're going to get the troll fucking coming back and saying, well, you didn't do it right then. Well, then fine, I didn't fucking do it right. Go fuck yourself. I don't give a shit what you think anyway, so fuck off. Yeah. Basically.
I guess, when people, say I don't know what I'm talking about on things, because sometimes I do those beer reviews, and I had one guy, just lambaste me, how the fuck do you think you can do a beer review and you can't even say the name right? And I'm like, you know what? You need to go watch something else. But, so when people are like that, I'm okay with it, because, I made a mistake. I said the brewer's name wrong. So what? But when people, this one guy that I was talking about, when he it was an attack on me just because he was
calling out your character. Yeah,
he was calling out my character because look, I'm a pretty fucking liberal dude, and I believe in a very live and let live type of thing. But when you're some dude half a world away who doesn't even know me, makes this kind of snap judgment because I buy video games, and I was talking about doing my video game backlog instead of talking about saving starving kids in Africa. It's a fucking gaming channel. I'm not, Sally Struthers, sitting here talking about feeding the children. It's a video game channel. What do you want? So that's what I felt like I had to, just because it was a bunch of holier-than-thou bullshit, which really gets under my skin. And, so I had to take him to task. But if it's just somebody saying, you don't know what you're talking about, usually I just yeah, well, maybe I didn't,
Yeah.
Chance?
Mine's, I don't really have too many trolls on my channel, because I don't have that many people following me. So I haven't attracted too many trolls as of yet. But I've got a couple, and maybe I take it too seriously because I usually get pretty upset, But I usually just don't say anything, because I'm like, they hate me. And I get all emo and stuff. But really, though, I mean, I really just need to take that approach where, I just let it slide off and it doesn't bother me really anyway. So, yeah, that's about it.
Cool. Well, to kind of go into something totally different, I know Jeremy is a proud owner of a Wii U, so I kind of wanted to get his thoughts on how that's been treating him since he's got it, and overall, like Jeremy and everyone, since it seems like our generation could be coming to a close this year, what were some things that you kind of, did you like it, or what were some downfalls of this generation? What were some things you wish would have been different or changed? Yeah, just stuff like that. So, but yeah, just Jeremy, I want to know what's going on with that Wii U, man. Has it been getting any playtime here recently?
No, not really. No, it collects dust well. I'll tell you that. It's a really good dust magnet. It's better than all the other systems. I'm surprised. I dust it more often than the rest of them. So, but it's the potential for the Wii U is enormous. The only thing is there's not enough games to actually put use to it yet. And I mean, that, as soon as they stick out a fucking Zelda game and a Metroid game and another proper 3D Mario game, the fucking things are going to fly off the shelf. As soon as it's supported more, when that Yoshi game comes out and shit like that, as soon as it's supported more, the thing is going to be, it's going to come into its own. But right now, the only time I turn it on is to update it. I turned it on the other day to check the Wii U shop channel, and apart from that, it literally just sits there.
I think that's the same thing that kind of happened to the Vita, is that, they put it out, no one really bought it because there wasn't anything to play on it, so now people don't want to make games for it because no one bought it. And it's just that seems to be what happens with these modern systems, is you have this big upfront expense to get this system, and then the launch titles are just, the Wii U launch titles, I'm sorry, they were just crap. The only thing I was really interested in was Zombie U, and even then, I wasn't even really interested in it.
Yeah.
So I'm still waiting for my reason to buy a Wii U, which hopefully, after all these big announcements this summer, there'll be a reason early next year to buy it.
Dragon Quest 10.
Dragon Quest 10, X, there's some other things too. But the Vita, there's two games I want for the Vita right now, and I kind of want to buy it to play those two games, but at the same time, it's then I'm going to have to wait months for another game on the fucking Vita.
Well, I can't remember how the PSP, the original one, launched, but I'm pretty sure that one was way down too. But, look at the library now. Yeah. It is a great library game, so I'm hoping, I know we kind of look at the first year sometimes, man, the first year was bad. And it looks like the Wii U's getting started off on a bad note, but just maybe, hopefully, these libraries will blow up for both of these systems. Kind of I guess just take some time for every system to start building up the good games.
Yeah, I was just going to say, even for the Wii, for a guy like me, Xenoblade Chronicles, I really want to get that one, but that was a fairly late release, and Last Story, fairly late release, and Pandora's Tower coming out this month. It's just, I just got a Wii a few months ago, and it's just now getting to a point where there's probably enough games now that I would want for the system. But that's just me.
Cool.
Well, the Wii itself, the Wii is an awesome system. First of all, it plays GameCube games, and so it's 2 in 1. And there's lots of good Wii games, like you were saying with Pandora's Tower coming out. I pre-ordered that 2 months ago, just so that I have all three: Xenoblade, Last Story, and Pandora's Tower. I haven't got around to playing any of those fucking games, but one day at least I have them, and you can see how much Xenoblade goes for now. So obviously the system is still a viable system, and Nintendo thrives on its first-party shit anyway. You know what I mean? It makes its money off of fucking putting out Mario games. So as long as they put out one a month of a premium title the fucking systems will fly off the shelf. Like I said, the Zelda, just alone, when they put out the HD, whatever, the new Zelda game, not the Wind Waker remake, but the new Zelda game, the fucking things are going to fly off the shelf. People are just going to buy them like crazy. They'll make a bundle out of it, and, well, you know, they'll bundle it together with the Wii U and the game, and the thing will just fly off the shelves. And then all of a sudden, all the bad-mouthing of the Wii U about how it's not powerful enough, it's not next-gen and all that nonsense, people will forget about that because they'll be sitting there with that fucking gamepad in their hand thinking, this is fucking awesome. The potential is awesome. And that's the thing, is Nintendo sees the potential. They don't, you know, we're the beta testers right now for the thing, you know what I mean? And that's fine. But, you know, they know the potential behind it, and they're just waiting and waiting and waiting. They don't care if it takes them 3 years to make their money back, because they know they're going to get their fucking money back. So it's not really an issue with that stuff like that.
Well, you seem to be Dustin, you seem to be a Zelda purist. I was wondering what your thoughts could be on these rumors of them trying to lean more to a Skyrim-type Zelda, from what I heard. What would be your thoughts on a Zelda like that?
Yeah, I know. I'm one of those people who thinks that pretty well with Zelda, they can't really do anything wrong with it. You know, as long as they're going to make it, if they make it like a Skyrim game, so they're going to make it a 200-hour game, 250-hour game, that's fine with me, you know, like, and more immersive where you're free roaming and shit like that with the areas already open to you and finding shit and even crafting weapons. I would be totally happy with that. And I don't see that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a purist. The early Zelda games, you know, I can take them or leave them pretty well up to what's it called? The Super Nintendo one. I can't remember the name of it.
Link to the Past.
Link to the Past. Up to that point, like after that, they're pretty well all fucking gold from there on in. You can't fault something that immerses you to the point where you're like, oh, I'll just finish this dungeon and then I'll go to bed, and you know you're up for 5 more hours. I mean, and to just add more content, and like I was hearing about multiplayer in the next Zelda that they were talking about. Well, good, go for it. Fuck it, that's what the Wii U's for. You know what I mean? Playing it with other people. You know what I mean? And I'm all for it.
Cool. Go ahead, Dustin. Sorry to cut you off earlier.
Well, the thing I was going to say is I don't understand when we're talking about launches. I don't understand why Nintendo. I mean, it's been since the N64 where they've launched a system with like a AAA title. You know, the GameCube, it didn't have like a big Mario game right off the bat. It had Luigi's Mansion. The Wii didn't have a Mario game right off the bat. At least I don't think Mario Galaxy launched with it. You know, and then the Wii U didn't have. It had Mario Brothers U, but you know, who the fuck cares about that? So it just seems like if Nintendo wants these things to fly off the shelf, why don't they make like a launch Zelda game? You know what I mean? Like HD Zelda at launch. That thing would have been, I mean, even harder to find than it is now. Like, it was really hard to find for like a couple weeks, and then they started trickling back in. I mean, if that Zelda game was there, I would have one right now if that Zelda game was there.
I think maybe because most launch games aren't the best titles on the system most of the time.
Yeah, but they've been developing this thing for years, though. They should have a AAA title to really get people to buy that, because think back to the Super Nintendo. You wanted that Super Nintendo because of Super Mario World. You saw pictures of Super Mario World in Nintendo Power, and you're like, fuck, I need that. You know, and it's
still
like
one of the best games too.
Yeah, and it's like when the Wii U came out, I looked at the games, and I was like, I don't need it right now. So, but talking about that Zelda game, I would love. When I read about a Skyrim-esque Zelda, I thought that'd be fantastic, because I think and that's not really Skyrim. I think it'd be more like Dark Souls, that kind of thing.
Yeah, Dark Souls. That'd be perfect.
I think that'd be amazing, because I mean, the first Zelda game was kind of open world in a way. It wasn't really until we got to the modern Zeldas that it was like, well, this part's locked out until you finish this.
Yeah, even Zelda 2 was like that, where you couldn't go to certain places until you had, you know, a certain item or whatever, until you finished a certain section of the game, and it was hard as crap. But yeah, you're right though. The first Zelda really is pretty much open world. You can't always get into all the dungeons, but I think you can pretty much visit almost anywhere on the map, you know, with just, you know, from the very beginning. Granted, you know, there's some sections are harder than others, but But yeah, I think you're right. I think it's pretty much all access from the get-go.
Any more questions, Steven?
I could keep going asking Jeremy questions. I don't know if you guys if that's something y'all want to talk about, was just our feelings on this generation. Jeremy, obviously, you seem to be a big GameCube fan. Has this gen, after that gen, lived up to your expectations, or any of you guys? Did it fall short for you? Are you ready for the next to come, or something like that, if we want to get into it?
Well, when I got a 360 when it first came out, and I was pretty impressed, of course, with the graphics, right? As you would be, like, you're thinking, oh my God, it looks so quote unquote real, right? But after a while, I realized that they were just it was the same kind of crap, only with better graphics. And I mean, the 360, when I was playing it, I don't even have it hooked up anymore, but I have had a lot of fun with 360 games, like the original Assassin's Creed. I didn't buy it when it first came out, and I didn't know what it was about or anything, and it went down to $9.99, and so I thought, well, I'll try it, see what it's like, and I couldn't believe it. I had such a good time playing that game, and I mean, it's the kind of game that you cannot have that experience on an older gen console. It's just so immersive, and so there's just so many different things that you can do in it, and it just feels so good to be there. It feels like it gives you certain emotional reaction to you felt like you were in danger in that game. And the storyline was good. Of course, the lip syncing on any of those games, it still looks like shit. It just looks like a puppet talking, yeah. But you have to put up with that. But I was really happy with the 360, like the Ace Combat for the 360. Like, I'm a huge Ace Combat fan. I was just like, this is fucking amazing. This is fucking amazing. I can't believe it. This is so cool. But after a while, you realize that it's just kind of the same old shit over with a different fucking mask on over and over and over again. Like Batman Arkham Asylum, I loved that game. I thought it was so good. And that was another one that I bought for, cheap. It had gone down in price. It had been out for like a year or whatever, and I bought it, and I thought, well, maybe I'll play a Batman game. And I just loved that shit. But that's the thing, like, I don't have a lot. My investment into the 360 wasn't huge, so I didn't really, I never put the money into it. With $60 games, you have to know that the fucking game is going to be good, or you feel like you've wasted your money. You know what I mean? And I've never had a PS3. I've never bought one. I've never even gone there, just for the very reason that I don't even know why. It just basically the launch price threw me off when it was like $700 or whatever it was. I was like, well, fuck that. I don't until it's down to $129.99. I'm not buying the goddamn thing. And now I've actually outlived. I haven't even got the system, and it's going to PS4 now. And I missed the whole generation. I missed everything about it, and it doesn't bother me at all because, like I said, I was really happy playing other games. And for years I didn't play any games at all. Like there was about a 2-year stretch that I didn't fucking play anything because I was just like, I'm not spending $60 on games that are all kind of the same, and I'm not into fighting games, and so there's all just there were a myriad of reasons why I didn't embrace the 360. But it's an awesome system. It's just I just never really invested in it. I never thought it was something that I wanted to focus on, and $60 games, really. I'm a cheapskate. I don't want to spend any fucking money on games. So that was really a turning point there where I kind of pushed it off to the side, and it was hooked up, and I had fun with Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2, and Borderlands is fucking awesome, but those are good multiplayer games. Like you kind of need the person sitting beside you playing, helping you out, because in single player, Borderlands is just there's no real, you're just shooting things, but when you have somebody else helping you out, it makes it, and you couldn't have that on earlier systems. You couldn't. They just wouldn't allow for that, and so yeah. I just missed out on a lot of the 360 and all of the PS3 stuff. I just missed it.
You think you're going to stick exclusively just with Nintendo maybe this time around, since it seems like systems may be a little pricey again? Or you think you're just going to hold on to that one?
Yeah, Yeah, that's the idea. I'm more focused now than ever on just collecting GameCube and Wii stuff. I mean, if I see, like my original Xbox, I love my original Xbox. It's such a fucking smooth system. It doesn't make, you know, you turn it on, it doesn't make any noise like the 360 does. The 360 sounds like there's a fucking hovercraft coming up your driveway when you turn it on. But yeah, I'm sticking to the GameCube and the Wii stuff. I mean, even still, the Wii stuff can be a little pricey, but you can pick and choose. You don't have to buy the shovelware, you know, like 101 fucking party games bullshit. There's a lot of good games for it. So I'm basically I've hit the wall with the Wii U. Like I'm going there and kind of no further kind of thing. That's the way it's probably going to be.
That's cool. What do you think, Chance? What was like your biggest upside or biggest downside of this gen?
Well, for me, it's like Jeremy said did too. I'm kind of late to the party on all the things, so I haven't really been following the systems that closely. I mean, I just got a PS3 like 2 weeks ago, and it's my first PS3, and I just got a Wii, you know, a couple months ago. But at the same time, at least with the PS3, I love it. You know, it's a really great system, I think, and I think that I'm going to get a lot out of it, you know, for years to come, you know, because PS3 games are cheap, and, you know, there's a fair amount of quality exclusives that I'll buy for the system, but at the same time, I do think the 360 is the system that you know, wins for me, you know, just because, you know, it's the one that I've had the longest, I guess. And when I first got it, you know, I'm a big Halo fan, so when Halo 3 came out, you know, with the 360, that's, you know, I bought it, you know, fairly early on. I didn't buy it right at launch, you know, a few months later, but I got it primarily to play Halo 3 online. You know, I didn't really have, I didn't beat Halo 1 and 2 yet, so, you know, I really wasn't in a position to play the campaign. I just wanted to play multiplayer, and I also ended up getting the orange box and only playing Team Fortress 2 and Portal. I still haven't played Half-Life 2. So, I mean, I don't know, that's just kind of the mindset that I was in. That was very new to me to, you know, to be able to play with other people, especially online like that. That was incredible, you know. And I didn't, you know, have a lot of, you know, friends that played games, you know, growing up. So, you know, I never really played multiplayer ever, you know, with somebody sitting in the same room as me. So to get Xbox Live, that was just incredible, and the things that it was able to do, you know, and PS3 also could do the same thing, but yeah, the price tag scared the shit out of me, and I had no desire to spend that kind of money on that system at the time, you know, and I still spent, you know, like $250 on the PS3. Granted, it's new, but it's still quite a bit pricier than a 360. But yeah, I mean, all in all, I think that this generation's been really awesome, and I hope that the next generation's is good too. But I can't say, you know, whether I'll be rushing out there to buy anything. You know, obviously I don't have a Wii U yet, or a Vita, and I don't plan on getting them anytime soon, really. And I can't say that I'll be standing in line for a PS4 or a Xbox, whatever they're going to call it. So yeah, that's about it.
Well, I was just going to say, with Dustin, he'll see if you agree with me on this. I know if a big thing for me this year was I think gaming really blew up this generation with Xbox Live, with Call of Duty coming out. I think there are more gamers than ever playing video games right now. I think, unfortunately, on the downside, it's kind of hurt gaming in a way. There were original IPs this year, Enslaved, great games, all these great original ideas coming out, but no one, Mirror's Edge I'm looking at, no one is supporting them. We're seeing IPs come out, but games are more expensive to make, and it's just, they're getting killed because no one's buying these systems. Developers are making these things like, oh, well, these games are selling in the tens of millions. There must be tens of millions gamers out there, and at least hopefully 2 might pick up our game, and sometimes that's not even the case. So with popularity, I think came a lot of downfall for like great developers who made these games, and some of them who aren't even around anymore after making these original IPs. And I'm kind of scared that, I mean, I think we saw it with the Xbox later on in its life. IPs were dying, like not coming out of nowhere. And I'm kind of scared next generation, like where the original IP is going to come from. It's like no one wants to put a new idea out there anymore because they're scared to lose money. I mean, where's the magic going to come from to developing these new games? I think in a way, when you go from the PS1, the GameCube, even the Super Nintendo, as far as back to there, some of the magic from the games is getting lost somewhere, maybe in characters or something. And I think, like you just finished, I'm going to bring it up again, Enslaved, Chance. I thought characters and everything with that was great, but I think it's getting lost in many of the games of this gen. What do you think, Dustin?
Well, I was going to say that. I think this was a great generation, but for a different reason. I think this was great because of the DS and the PSP and the Wii. When I think of how great this generation was, I don't think about the 360 and the PS3. I just don't. Because we're just seeing it right now. Ubisoft just announced Assassin's Creed 4. 3 just came out. You know, they're October. Assassin's Creed 4 is going to be out. You can be a pirate. Fantastic. And it's just like you said, Steven, like all these. Oh shit! I stood up and I was standing on my cord of my headset. All of these great IPs are coming out. And no one's buying them. But, like, when the next Call of Duty comes out, in a few months here, that thing's going to be, it's insane that no one wants to take a shot on these new games. And when I think of, like, original titles, I think of the Wii, because the Wii has a lot of a very varied library. The DS...
You're right. I was thinking of PS3 and 360 looking at that, but you're right. The Wii did have a lot of great, like, original ideas. So
yeah. And, like, the DS, like, you cannot... I mean, if anyone is like, I want to get into video gaming, tell me a system to buy. I would say buy a 3DS, and then you have the new games, but you can go back into the old library of the DS and play that. Because that thing, I'm telling you what, from the last generation... That is my number one system, that DS, because it was just had so many fantastic experiences on it. And probably the PSP would be number 2, because, I mean, that thing is just an RPG powerhouse. So, yeah. But as far as, like, the 360 goes and the PS3, I mean, there are great games on those systems, but for some reason, like, I'm looking at my shelf right now, and I'm looking at, like, 4 or 5 Halo games, the Mass Effect trilogy. I mean, it's just really sequeled out, The 3 Uncharted's on the PS3. It's just like, unless you make one great game, and then you just churn out sequels to it, and that's all you do.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Fable, the Fable series suffered greatly by the fact that they just wanted to pump out sequels. Like, Fable 2 is one of my favorite games of all time, and, I played that all the way through twice. And it was so immersive. It just felt gigantic. All the characters were great. You could interact with everybody. There was a little bit of, you could buy property and sell property and do a little bit of shopping and fucking fighting and build your character up. And then they put out Fable 3, and it was a fucking tragedy what they did with that. And it's like, they're just like, oh, well, shit, Fable 2 was good. Let's put out Fable 3. And it was just like, well, fucking, it was a joke. I finished it in like 2 days, and it had the characterization in it sucked, and it brought the whole fucking thing down to a grinding halt. Like, you notice how there's no Fable 4 coming out, because it's Fable 3 killed it. You know what I mean? And it's just this need to keep punching out new, the same fucking shit. Another Call of Duty, another this. Because they know that's going to sell. They know that people are going to play that for online, right? So they'll buy that, and like you said, nobody wants to take a risk and put out a game that has even a slight fucking difference in what everyone's used to.
Yeah. And,
just because people are used to it doesn't mean that there shouldn't be a chance. And like you were saying, the Wii, they'll stick anything on there. It didn't matter. Like, it was like, oh, fuck, we'll put this on there. We'll put this on there. Someone will buy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, the new generation is just, gaming has blown up in the last little while and gotten really popular, but it's just the same shit. Everyone's still, just the majority of people just want to play the same shit over and over and over again.
Easy. Pretty much. I told you I can't talk unless it's on cue, so I have to.
Well, I was just standing here like looking at my Wii games, and I'm like, fucking A Boy and His Blob. would you see that on like the 360? No. Would you see
Nope.
what's another good one? Fishing Resort that Xseed put out. It's like a fishing RPG. Would you see that on the? No. It's ridiculous. I mean,
Well,
people
I mean, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say,
I was
people.
just saying I was just gonna say the Wii's technology allowed for that too.
Yeah.
Like the Xbox tried to do it with the Kinect and PlayStation tried to do it with the Move, but the Wii really had the hand up on some of those obscure games that you could use that the motion technology or not. You know, they could release just as many games that didn't use it too.
Well, even like when Jeremy was talking about Xenoblade, it got me thinking. You know, like would Xenoblade have been any better if it was on the 360? Yeah, it would have a nice coat of paint. But would have been in a better game because of it? No, not really. So
sure it would, because I would own it by now.
Well, there's that.
But I think Nintendo did a great job of still keeping the magic in games, so to say, because I'm staring at my 360 collection and PS3, and I think it seems like it's the mature. I don't want to label it as the mature system, but man, there are I'm looking at a ton of mature games. Nothing that's really as magical as like a Last Story or a Xenoblade or there's so many titles like A Boy and His Blob or Muramasa and the Demon Blade. That wouldn't be put on any other console unless it was
on the
PSP.
Vita.
Yeah, true, and the Vita. But yeah, so Nintendo is still there. So it looks like Jeremy stuck with the right company all these years. He sticks strong with Nintendo. They seem to be holding it down with stuff. Especially the 3DS, oh my goodness, 3DS, and like Dustin said, just get a 3DS, because that's going to dominate the next year, and all the DS games you can get, you'll be happy the rest of your life. Just get that, and you'll be set.
Or get an NES because it's superior to all. I was saying, or just get an NES because that's superior to all.
An NES, yeah.
I was going to ask, I know Chance has some topics he wants to get into, but we should ask Jeremy this at the beginning, because he is doing this GameCube thing. It's a year of Grubgun and getting this GameCube collection built up. What would be 5 games that you would tell someone you must have this game for your GameCube if you want, or someone who hasn't even played a GameCube, what would be the 5 games you recommend to them that they need to get?
Well, I already said Wind Waker. I mean, that's a reason to
Wind
buy.
Waker.
Let me see here. Paper Mario 10,000 Year Door, definitely. It takes Mario in a different direction. It's almost like a mandatory play. If you haven't played a Paper Mario game, it blows your mind. And the writing in those games, it does both things. Like the dialogue is, you can understand it if you're a kid, but if you're a grown-up playing it, there's little kind of references in there that are for grown-ups as well. So you're like, you get this wry smile on your face when people are making fun of Mario and stuff like that, where, you know, you can understand it, and it's a fucking awesome game. I just got it again recently, and it's fucking beautiful. What else? Oh, Jesus. Yeah, good question. I wasn't prepared for that one. Of course, I'm not prepared anyway. So, mighty. Well, any of the... Oh, and of course, Metroid Prime, the original Metroid Prime. That game is fucking amazing. I mean, it does everything a Metroid game should be, with the backtracking and the problem solving and shit like that, and puts it into an environment that's 3D, and it's actually intimidating to be in the environment. The bad guys are fucking always bugging the shit out of you. You feel threatened in the environment, as well as feeling very alone. You know what I mean? It's a real amazing game, and
that's a great game.
Yeah, it's amazing. And once you get a hang of the controls and everything, and you realize you can scan things, and every time you scan things, it's in your logbook and shit like that. It's just so, you just get so immersed in the world, and that's a definite. Those 3 in particular. Oh God.
I guess Sunshine Man have to be one of them. Were you a Mario Sunshine fan, or didn't really like that one?
Well, no, I forgot about that one. Mario Sunshine, for sure. You got to play that. I mean, it's such a beautiful game to look at too. I mean, like you were saying there about having a nice coat of paint on it. All the Mario games before, there was kind of pixels and stuff. But once you land on the island there that you're on and you're running around, you just think, fucking, this is the most beautiful Mario game I've ever played. I had controller issues with it, like camera problems. Like sometimes you'd be in places and you'd have to make a jump and the camera would you couldn't get the camera in the right place. So, that was my own problem there, But yeah, for sure, Sunshine, definitely, you need that game if you have a GameCube. And after that, I mean, there's, oh God, well, Luigi's Mansion, of course, just for the fun element of it, everything about that game is cool. I mean, you have a different character. It's not a very long game. That's the thing. You can sit down in one day and finish Luigi's Mansion. But yeah, that's another one. Yeah, exactly. You didn't have to devote an entire month to it. But oh man, let me think. Well, Pikmin is a good game. Just to the fact that it's also puzzle solving and it's so cute. That's the thing about Pikmin, is that it's fucking adorable. All the little kind of nuances and quirks that they put in it, you never cease to, like, you're smiling all the time while you find new areas and pick up all these different things, and that one's an awesome game, Pikmin as well.
See, that's one I actually never played, was Pikmin. Or Dustin, if you've played it too, what type of game is that? Is it an RTS type of game? How does that control? It never really wanted to grab me because I'm thinking there's going to be too much thinking in this game, and I didn't know if I could handle it or not. But what is the game and how does it play? Because I never really looked into it.
Well, yeah, I would say it was RTS in a way. You control the main character, and you have to send your little Pikmin out to do tasks for you, like you to pick them up and you throw them up onto ledges, and they pick things up and carry it back to your spaceship for you. And I think there's 5 different kinds of Pikmin, or 4, and there's ones that can go in the water, ones that can go in the fire, and one that can fucking really strong ones, and there's another kind I don't remember, but it's basically, yeah, you're really kind of, you're dividing your attention towards your Pikmin, and you get sent down in dungeons, and you have to pick the right amount of Pikmin to bring down there of each kind, because you'll get down to a certain level and then you'll run out of Pikmin. You won't have enough of the right kind to get any farther, and you'll have to start again. So it's kind of trial and error. It's a lot of puzzle solving. Not really puzzle solving, but just it makes you think about stuff, and resource management, really, I guess you could call it,
Okay.
The thing that always intimidated me about it was that it was timed. Like, you have a set amount of time to do all this stuff, and it's like, it felt like when I was playing it as a younger kid, is like, holy crap, if I make one mistake, I'm going to lose, this much time off my game, and then I'm not going to be able to finish the game. So it really is like resource management and time management, really.
Yeah, totally. And fuck, I don't know, like, man, I'm looking up at my GameCube shelf, and other than, like, those are the main titles, of course, but you get down into the Mario sports titles, like Mario Strikers and Mario Baseball and what's the other one? Fucking Mario Tennis and Mario Golf. Those are fucking awesome games. They're so, you just sit there and you play sports, and they're just so well made. Like, it never really gets old, and you unlock things as you go along. You'll finish a match, and then you'll unlock a new stadium, and you'll want to play in there. And those are great games just because of the fucking cuteness factor alone. They're worth playing just for that, and some of them are dirt cheap. So I mean. And you think, Mario Sports, well, it's not really that challenging. Well, fucking Bowser in Mario Strikers, that cocksucker fucks me over every time in the fucking match. He beat me every fucking time. That bastard. You think he won the fucking major cup there, and he's like, oh, no, sorry, you have to fight my robots now. You have to play a match with my robots, and they just kick your ass, and you just like, you fucking bastard. I can't believe this. He's fucking me over again? Like, and it takes practice, and you have to learn the skill, learn the moves, and once you get good at it, you feel more confident in playing them. So they're really good games. I really I enjoy them.
Awesome. Yeah, there are a bunch on there, so cool. So anyone want to get into GameCube, there's some recommendations from Mr. Grubgun himself. So
I think he's got a video of GameCube exclusives too. That was a pretty cool video where he showed off like all the exclusives that you have for the system.
Yeah, that was I was given that idea by another YouTuber. He was just starting to collect for GameCube, and he wants to buy exclusives for each of his consoles. He wants to stick to buying the exclusive games, and I didn't realize when I started pulling them off the shelf, I did not realize how many GameCube exclusives there actually were. It just blew my mind. I guess Eternal Darkness is another one. That's another one that you've got to play that game, because that's just a mind fuck all the way through.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to say that, because I'm sitting here looking at it, I was like, oh, you got to say Eternal Darkness, because no other game will fuck with you as much as that game does.
Totally. It fucks with your brain, and you don't even know whether you're playing it right half the time. You'll make a mistake, or you'll do something right, and then the fucking game will screw with your head, and you'll think, well, did I win? Did I fuck it up? I don't know yet. Come on, just tell me.
I remember when it does the I don't know how to talk about it without ruining it for new people, but the game does something. I literally dropped my controller. I was like, what the fuck happened? I thought something got disconnected. I didn't know what was going on, and then it resolved, and I was like, oh, thank God, never had an experience like that with any other game ever.
Yeah, totally. I mean, except when your Xbox 360 crashes, and it actually crashes, then you're like, exactly. It's one of those moments where you're just like, what the fuck is happening? So you definitely, anytime a game that fucks with your mind to the point where you don't even know what the fuck is going on, you literally start looking at the power cords and shit. That's fucking awesome. It's brilliant.
The only other game I think that does that is the Psycho Mantis fight in Metal Gear Solid. I don't know any other game that breaks the fourth wall and messes with you like that.
I can't think
of anybody else getting robot voice here?
Nope.
Must just be me then. Oh, well.
So anyway, are we
ready to move on?
I believe so.
Right.
Yes, we can.
Well, what do you want to get into next? The next topic, or we want to talk about some games we've been playing?
I want to hear some guilty pleasures that you want to talk about.
Guilty pleasures. Okay, yeah. Well, this is kind of a topic that I don't know, I'm interested in, I guess. To hear, what people play or what people watch or listen to, and they don't necessarily tell a bunch of people that they do that, because I'm guilty myself. I've got some written down. I got some music, some games, movies, and TV shows. And, you're just brief. You don't have to go into a humongous description of, you don't have to justify why you watch these things or listen to these things. But, I guess I'll just start off with music, and we can kind of go around the circle and talk about some music that we're maybe less than proud of that we listen to. So I guess I'll start. My number one is a band that came out in the 90s, I'm pretty sure. They had a couple of hits that were very, very popular on the radio, and it was a little group called Eiffel 65. Yeah, it's pretty epic, actually. These guys are so interesting, and they remind me a lot of Daft Punk. And I don't know, I got the album when I was, in middle school or whenever the hell it came out. And I listened to every track on it, and I could still throw it in and listen to it. And I don't know, it's still just a good album, I think. It's called Europop. So if anybody could top that one, I don't know. The other one that I have on here, just one other one, I own the Patsy Cline box set, and I am a big fan of old country, and Ms. Patsy Cline, beautiful lady, tragically died too soon, and she had a lot of good songs, and I am a huge fan. So there you go. Anybody else got some music that they're considering guilty pleasures?
Ooh. Yeah. I'm a big fan of like 90s alternative rock, and like when this shit was going on, like I was like, oh no one likes that. But now that it's like old and nostalgic for me, like I'm really like I bought. Do you guys remember the Cardigans? Like the group that sang Loveful. Like I bought that CD, and like no joke, I can just throw it in and have a great time with it. I don't know what the hell is wrong with me, but I really enjoyed that. And like the Crash Test Dummies, like I never realized how awesome the Crash Test Dummies were until like I got God Shuffled His Feet and what's the other one? I can't remember. I can't remember the title of it, but their first two albums, and they're like they were really an awesome band. It's like ridiculous. So I guess those are my kind of two. There was a brief period when Avril Lavigne's first album came out that I kind of liked her too.
Oh no!
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I think I just won right there. I don't think anyone can beat that. But
yes,
I don't know. Have you ever heard I-55?
Yeah, I'm Blue Dabba Dee. Yeah, I had the single for that.
Oh yeah, but Avril Lavigne, I can remember when her first album came out, and I really liked a couple of the songs, but then she like started to like do some Britney Spears type stuff later on, and it was like, ugh. But yeah, I can understand. I could still listen to a couple of the songs off of her first album if they're on the radio or whatever. But yeah.
So those are mine.
Awesome.
Those are mine.
Steven? Yeah, I have to be cute. So okay, me. Man, right off the bat, I don't feel guilty about anything I do. So. Sure. For it to be a guilty pleasure, I don't know, but
I have one
as far
word
as music,
for you, Steven.
What?
TY.
Oh, but that's not music, so we'll get
but it's a guilty pleasure.
Well, I don't do it anymore. But as far as music, I'm a big time fan, big lover of some '90s R&B, Boys to Men. Soul for real as yet. You'll see, I don't know if you can view people's YouTube history, but I mean, just this morning I was listening to some Boys to Men, and I'll come home and serenade the wife and get her all warm inside. But I'm a huge fan of, because I'm a big like 80s hair band. That's my mainstay music, but I get these moments where I just got to hear me some 90s R&B, because I think when you want to talk about like actual singers, I just think they're some of the best, and no one can sing these days, in my opinion, as far as singing. But man, and getting a group of 4 guys just doing an acapella, trying to find me someone on the radio who can do that these days, you can't. So I guess that would be my one music thing, or no, I can give you another better one. I am a huge fan of the Backstreet Boys' "Show Me the Meaning of Being Lonely" single. So there you go. I don't know if that tops Avril Lavigne, but I think me and the wife put that song on the radio like 2 weeks ago. We listened to it, so there you go. Jeremy, take it on.
Yeah. After that, I don't know. Well, believe it or not, I really liked the. Oh boy, this is gonna go over well. I was a big fan of the Spice Girls.
I think he wins.
Yeah, sure he wins.
Yeah, I had a Sporty Spice poster in my room.
Well, that is interesting. You were a Sporty Spice fan.
Yeah, she's my favorite Spice Girl. I actually, when she went solo, I actually saw her in concert here in Vancouver. It was great. I think I was the oldest person there. So that was good. But yeah, I, for some reason, I don't know what it was, just 5 chicks, you know what I mean? But Spice Girls, kind of like that.
The looking one out. So.
I think that got all jumbled up there, whatever you guys were saying. I think you and Chan. Hey, Chan. Zigga Zigga. Okay.
Yeah, that's some good stuff. Those are some prime lyrics. I want that on my gravestone when I pass on.
Spice up your life. That'll be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Cool.
All right. Well, I guess we'll keep rolling here. Movies. I got a couple of bombshells here too. wife and I are big fans of musicals, and I gotta say, I really liked Rent. It was really good. I liked it an awful lot, and no justification there, I guess. Next one, I don't know, chick flicks in general, like the comedies, like Bridesmaids. I don't know if you guys have seen that. That one was freaking hilarious. And,
Bridesmaids is a legitimate choice. That's not a guilty pleasure.
What's that?
Bridesmaids is a legitimate choice. It's not a guilty pleasure.
Okay, well, either way. And then the last one here. Okay, we are big fans of the Twilight series.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm out.
Yeah.
Look,
I don't know why. I like the movies. I will admit it. I'm man enough to admit that.
we watched Breaking Dawn Part 2 last night, and I realized what makes me so pissed off about these movies is because you have all these little girls watching this going, that's what true love's about. And I'm the type of person that thinks too deeply into things sometimes. And these movies and these books are all about conformity. And it's like Bella could have been whatever she wanted to be with Jacob. I mean, she could have been whatever. But Jacob was poor, Edward was rich, so Bella has to conform to Edward's world, i.e. becoming a vampire. Sorry, I ruined the entire fucking book for you. To be with Edward. It's all about conforming to Edward's world to be with the rich guy. It's like the antithesis of Moulin Rouge. This is where the Maharaja wins. So, there we go.
Okay, well, that's it for me, movie-wise. Next, Steven.
Okay, I'll go. I think I might have mentioned it before. I don't know, it's apparently a hated movie by most. I know Dustin hates it, but I really love Lady in the Water. I think that's one of his best movies he's ever done. So I'm a big fan of that one. And there's actually, like, chick flicks my wife hates that even I get, like, warmed up to. I really like The Lake House, and that's a horrible movie by everybody. But Keanu and Sandra Bullock, I thought that was a great little love story. What else as far as movies? I know The Proposal was on yesterday, and I didn't want my wife to change the channel so I could finish watching that one with Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds.
You just like Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, I was going to say, you just like Sandra Bullock.
Maybe. But
Ryan Reynolds is freaking hilarious, though.
I don't know if there's too many movies that are guilty pleasures. I have a bunch of action and comedy in here, so I don't have too many guilty pleasure movies. So you're still winning chance with your Twilight one.
I don't have any guilty pleasure movies. I'm really picky with the fucking movies that I watch. If it's bad, I usually can't even sit through it. So I can't think, honestly. And I haven't seen Spice World yet. So, I mean, I guess we could probably say that's going to be it. Because I'm waiting for the director's cut for that.
The Blu-ray print.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I can't think. I honestly can't think of any movies that would be considered a guilty pleasure of mine. Because I mean, I'm really kind of picky. So that's the problem with that one. Even if I had days and days to think about that, I don't know really what I could come up with.
I guess, like, mine would be just movies that other people consider to be bad. Like, I wrote down Hook. I think Hook is an amazing movie, but if you talk to people about Hook, their butthole just instantly clenches up. They're like, oh, no. No. I love the movie Hot Rod. Whenever I feel bad about my life, I can throw in Hot Rod, and it'll make me laugh really hard. So I like that, even though most people are like, that's really stupid. This will probably get us back on a bad topic that we were on earlier, but I love Star Trek V. I love the fucking Final Frontier. I think it's, I don't know, there's just something about it that I love. And then finally, I also really love the Lost in Space movie. I think it's really good.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. And a lot of people hate it. A lot of people hate it, but I like it. So.
Well, I remember you did a Guilty Pleasures movie video a while back, and I poached a couple of them from it. I know Starship Troopers was on that list too.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to watch it. I just never have the opportunity to throw it in, and I've got such a backlog of movies to watch too. So.
Yeah.
Never seen Starship Troopers. What in the world?
Well, I've never seen any of the Star Treks either. I've never seen Lost in Space either. But,
I remember there was a time when on TBS where they were showing Starship Troopers like every weekend.
Yeah, but you can't watch it on TV. There's no way you
Wasn't
can.
there like 3 of them too? There's like the Marauders or something like that. Oh,
yeah.
really? I keep seeing them at Dollar General and I keep wanting to buy them, but it's like, you know what? They might really suck. So I just don't.
Do some research.
Yeah, someday. Okay, moving on. TV. Yeah, I got some doozies on this one too. Woo! They're all 3. Wow. Okay. The wife and I, see, we watch TV together all the time. We watch pretty much all movies and all TV together, so it kind of dictates what I watch, but I end up liking it anyway. I am a huge fan of the late and great Desperate Housewives. It was a great show, and it's over now. Yeah, I'm sorry. And next bombshell is American Idol. We are fans. We watch it quite frequently. And last but not least is actually one of my favorite shows, and I have absolutely no idea why. I do not know why I like this show, but it is The Bachelor.
Oh my goodness, Chance.
Exactly.
Wait,
I know. I can't figure it out.
Chance, let me ask you something real quick. Because my wife watches it, and I will see it as I'm walking through the house. But do you think that this year's Bachelor looks like Steven?
Yes! I have thought that from the start. I even wanted to ask him. I was like, dude, are you on The Bachelor? Seriously. I don't know what he even talked like him.
See, now I got to even look at this guy and see what it's all about now. So.
Well, I brought this to your attention when he was a contestant on the last year's one, because I saw him and I was like, Steven?
Oh, man. But like I said, I mean, I actually have no idea why I like the show, because I'm well aware, of how much of it is staged and how much of it is just bull. And then, the probability of a relationship actually working is like 0. But
don't you tell me that,
Chance.
Know. There's hope.
I am freaking entertained as crap by that show. And maybe it's just because of all the cat fights that break out, but I don't know. I cannot figure it out. And, and also, not just The Bachelor, but The Bachelorette, too. We watch them both. So, there you go. I don't think anybody will be able to top
third
that.
Member of the podcast. What in the world?
Hey, I'm just getting all the demons out of my closet now, okay? So I don't surprise you with anything later on, okay?
Cool deal, man.
Next.
Awesome.
I guess I'll go ahead and go because I really only have one, and it's not even really because I'm very selective because I don't watch a lot of TV at all. Like I would rather go out and buy like the DVDs of a show and watch them all back to back than week to week. So really, the only thing I can think of is I watched Power Rangers far beyond the age when it was acceptable to watch Power Rangers. Like way beyond. Like I was like getting ready to graduate high school, going home and turning on Power Rangers. It was really quite bad.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Grubmeister.
Oh God. Well, I'm picky with TV too, but I guess guilty pleasure would have to be I watch Supernatural.
Well, that's an awesome show. Nothing to feel guilty about.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I don't know anybody else that watches it, so that's the thing. Like, it's one of those things where I don't know why I started watching it, but I can't get enough of it. I love that show. And what's it called? Hercules: Legendary Journeys. Oh, that shit is fucking awesome.
Now, let's talk about Hercules for a second, because I seem to remember, like, when we would take trips to Iowa to visit my cousins, and I'd stay in a hotel, and then it was like, ooh, we get HBO and all these other, channels. I remember Hercules being, like, really risque. Was there, like, did they do, like, movies beforehand? They did the show? Because I remember tits in it, and I was like, then it got to, like, the Legendary Journeys, and there was no tits, and I was like, what happened here?
No, there were no. You were just imagining things. That was just wishful thinking on your part, or fond memories. But No, there were no tits in it.
Sorbo,
you saw Sorbo's tits in it. So, I mean, there's that. That counts for something, Maybe you're remembering that. But, no, there were no tits in that. And the acting is just primo. I mean, it is the fucking best.
Well,
nobody can read a teleprompter like Kevin Sorbo can. That's the thing. I mean, it's absolutely brilliant. But those are the only ones I can think of.
I must be confusing it with something else because I could have swore that I just remember this episode where he's fighting like a minotaur, and I thought for sure I saw naked women in it. And I was like, that was me at I don't know, 13 or something. I was like, ooh, there we go. But maybe I'm just mixing it with something else. I don't know.
Well, they're scantily clad.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah. There's some sheer nighties and things like that, but you don't really see anything underneath there,
Hey, Steven, how about that one, Steven? I'm the sexist one this time.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's great.
The torch.
Okay, well, now that I've thoroughly embarrassed myself, let's move on to something else.
Yes, we get to skip mine.
Oh, hey, yeah. I don't want to hear it anyway. It ain't going to be that good. No, I'm kidding.
I actually don't have any. I'm actually your typical guy's guy when it comes to TV. I'm either on ESPN or something like that. But my one guilty pleasure, we're watching Walking Dead. But I guess the one guilty pleasure I have with television is, maybe two. I don't know if Buffy could be considered a guilty pleasure. But
that's quality.
Big Buffy fan. And I consider Supernatural this generation's Buffy, so just better. I'm sorry. Supernatural's better than Buffy, but Reba, the show on Lifetime. Reba.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm really into that thing. I think it is so funny. We watch it every day. I look forward to it, seeing Reba McEntire on Reba. So there you go.
Wow.
I'll take it back. That was pretty good. I'm glad I let you go there, Steven.
Yeah.
I could sing the theme song if you want, but I mean, we can do
another one, I guess. I used to watch Wife Swap a lot. I don't know why. I don't anymore because it's just like a bunch of reruns now. But I don't know. I was unemployed a couple of years ago, and
nothing else to do. Let's watch some Wife Swap.
Seriously, it was like the highlight of the day. It was CSI and Wife Swap. I would watch CSI all morning and then Wife Swap all afternoon because it was on for 4 hours or something. But yeah.
Actually, when you have a kid, since I have a son now, there is a lot of Nick Jr. on, so I tend to find myself just humming along to Bubble Guppies and Dora the Explorer. I don't know if that's a guilty pleasure, but some of the theme songs are actually catchy in those things. But yeah, a lot of that stuff on TV these days.
Well, you're guilty by default, then, just because you're kind of forced to watch it, I guess.
Well, there you
go. I figured out why I was having problems with the robot voice. I didn't think about my Wi-Fi, being affected by other things, and I was downloading the DMC Devil May Cry trial version on my PS3, and as soon as I hit stop, it went away. So I guess that's smartness on my part. But I guess that's a good enough segue into games we've been playing. You guys want to talk about some of that?
Sure.
Okay. Well, I think our guest should go first, honestly. Mr. Grubgun.
Okay. Games I've been playing. Well, last night I was playing some 007 Nightfire for the GameCube, and that's it's fucking pretty good. I have to admit, it's just like you're playing a James Bond movie. It's that tongue-in-cheek that I'm having lots of fun with that, and I've finally kind of gone over the hump of being scared of my fucking game shelf and just started picking stuff up that I've heard was good, or I read the back of it and think that it might be something, and it's pretty good. I'm enjoying it. I just got over watching a bunch of old James Bond movies too, so I thought, well, I want to be James Bond now, so this should be fun. And it's cool because you it's not just one thing. You're not just running and gunning. there'll be times when you're running and gunning, and then there'll be times when you're driving a car, and then you'll have to do stealth in one part. So you do a bunch of different things in it. It's actually kind of a fun game. So I was playing that last night. On my DS, I've been playing a game called Again, and it's kind of like a crime novella kind of game, where you get clues, and you've got to find out who this murderer is, kind of thing. And it's kind of like a touch point and click kind of adventure, you know, like old school point and click shit. But it has like real people in it, like real. It's not like computer digital cartoon characters. They're actually like real photographs of the characters, and it has that instead of cartoon characters. And so I've been playing a lot of that. That's kind of a fun game. I like those crime games. Like one of my favorite DS games is Hotel Dusk, Room 215. Yeah. And for some reason, I just fucking loved that game. And Again is kind of along those lines. It's made by the same company who made Hotel Dusk.
Did you know there's a sequel to that?
Oh yeah, no, I've got that. I imported that.
Okay.
It's called Last Window.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that I couldn't wait. When I found out that the DS was region free, that's the first thing I did was import Last Window, because I needed to play that game. And when I was getting near the end of that game, I was so upset because I knew there wasn't a third one in the series, or the company went out of business that was making it. And I was like, oh fuck, this is going to end soon, and I won't have any more Hotel Dusk to play. So it was two of my favorite DS games. Like really, I love that, and I love the way you hold the DS upright like a book.
Yeah.
And it's so fun. And it's just like you were saying earlier about the DS being a fucking bomber system. It's reasons like that how they can take a game that you don't really. It's not really even a game. You know what I mean? It's more thinking. You've got to talk to people and react to them in the right way in order to make them talk to you the right way. So it's that kind of stuff that I really enjoy, those kind of different kind of games. And what else have I been playing? That's kind of it. I just finished Cave Story, too. I downloaded that for my DS, and I was playing that, and that's a fucking awesome game, too. And I'm not really big into platformers, but it was real fun. I like that.
Was Nightfire a first-person or a third-person shooter, 007?
It's first person. When you're shooting people, it's first person. So you just get the arm and the gun sticking out. And but you've got all the gadgets like a laser watch and fucking a lighter that turns into a camera, and you know all the shit that James Bond has. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I was really enjoying it, and I'm surprised that I was enjoying it, because I'm pretty cynical when it comes to playing games. A lot of them I'll put in and like play it for 10 minutes and go, well, this isn't a game. I don't even know why it's even on a disc, and I'll just never play it again. You know, like Super Monkey Ball on GameCube. That's not even a game. It's not a game. I'm glad I have it already, so that I don't have to buy it for my collection, because it's just fucking terrible.
Now with Nightfire, do you know? Because I know Perfect Dark had the laptop in it, but I know there's 007 that has one in it too. Do you know if that's the one where you have a laptop controlling the turrets or all that stuff, or am I thinking of a different 007?
I don't know. I only played it for like 2 or 3 hours last night. I got through the first 3 or 4 zones, and I haven't taken control of a laptop yet. So it could be. I'm in the middle of it, kind of thing. So it could be.
Okay. I know you mentioned Hotel Dusk. I know there was a game I saw, a Flower Seed Sun. I don't know. I kind of thought that was in the same series. Is that not? If anyone knows what I'm talking about.
It's not the same series. I don't even think it's the same style of gameplay.
Oh, it isn't? Okay.
I don't think it's like a visual novel. Because I was looking into it like a couple months ago, but I don't think it is. Maybe I'm wrong, though.
Yeah, I was looking at that. You just reminded me about that. It's kind of the same. I think it's kind of along the same lines, you know. But yeah, I can't really remember. I was going to get that at one point, but yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. We'll have to do some more research on that one, I guess.
Now, with you liking Hotel Dusk, did you jump into like 999 and things like that?
999.
9 persons, 9 hours, 9 doors?
No, never, no.
Okay.
I never played that.
How about Trace Memory?
Yeah, Trace Memory, I've got that one as well. That's a real short game, though. That's the problem with that, is that you can literally sit down and fucking, before you know it, you're done. And so it's one of those ones where it's disappointing because it's so short. But my DS collection is really limited, but I'm trying to pick up more stuff for it. Like, I really like those, like, I really enjoyed, what the hell was that called? Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. Thought that was fucking awesome. I'd never played anything like that before, and I just was grinning from ear to ear playing that shit, just because it's just so different, you know what I mean? Like, just getting used to everything is just so different. It's really lots of fun.
Excellent. Who wants to go next?
Go ahead,
Don't
Steven.
all talk at once.
All right, yeah, I'll go. I was just waiting for the cue. Yeah, sure. I actually don't have since last podcast. Pretty short list for me. Finished off Dragon Ball Z Attack of the Saiyans. Did the video up on that. Awesome RPG. If you're into old school turn-based style type of overworld searching type of RPG, definitely look into it. Especially if you're a fan of the series, you got to play that game. And since I was on a DBZ kick, I saw that there's a game for the Wii called Dragon Ball Revenge of King Piccolo. And it's actually a really fun action side-scrolling platformer that has some it's simple combat system, but it has some pretty cool platforming elements to it. And it's kind of going through the Dragon Ball era through Dragon Ball Z, of course. But it's just the visuals on it, right there with the TV show. Awesome style, and it controls really smooth. You can actually play it with a classic controller, the Wii Remote, or your GameCube controller. So a lot of options for it, and it's getting tougher to find again. It seems like with all these Dragon Ball Z games like that on a Nintendo system, they're getting tough to find. So look into it if you'd be interested. Played some more Dead Space 3. Me and my co-op buddy, we knocked out about 5 more hours of it. I think we're right at 59% through. So maybe by the end of this month, we might have that podcast recording on it, the mini-sode, if we can find some time to knock it out. Still just seems more like heavier action-based, not like the other Dead Spaces, but still having fun playing through it because I really enjoy third-person shooters and stuff like that. So played that, and I've been trying to find another handheld game to play on the go. I put in Tales of the Abyss on the 3DS again, trying to work through some of that. I had messaged Dustin. I had went through a segment, Dustin, where I was walking around the top town and talking to people, and it took 45 minutes to get to another fight when I was done talking to people. And that just was like really buzz-killing the game for me. I wanted to get out there and level grind and do some stuff some more. Do you know if there's even more stretches in that game where that's going to happen?
Yeah, there's a lot of talking in that game, like especially towards the as you close in on the end of it. Even I love like dialogue in RPGs, but even I was like, all right, let me just get the fuck over with this, please.
Yeah, it's like you. I love a good story and dialogue in a game, but it seems like Tales of the Abyss, especially within the first few hours and stuff. I know the video I put in like I was 18. Wasn't at 18. I was actually at 8 hours. I don't know where I got 18 from. But even at this 8-hour mark, they're throwing in more history and like all these different clans and cities and stuff that I don't know if I'm supposed to remember, but it's like information overload. But when I'm actually in the combat, it's actually really fun and I enjoy it. So I want to push through that game and beat Tales of the Abyss. But I actually been picking up all these PSP games and I wanted something to play on that. So I put in Prinny. Can I Really Be a Hero? One of the pickups from the other day. Tried that out for about an hour. And it's really fun. Kind of reminded me of Monster World. For if I'm getting it right, if that's the series. Or if you did a Sega Genesis retro reproduction card on it, I think.
Yeah,
Dustin,
Monster World 4.
Monster World?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of something like that because it's a platformer with like just your sword and stuff as combat. And it's pretty fun, except it's really hard. And the concept of the game is, from what I can tell, one of the demons, you're playing as a Prinny, so you're just a human with no skin, and you got this outfit on, looks like a penguin pretty much, and you're pretty much a slave of the demons that you see in like what's that series, the Gaia series. and she's telling you she wants the ultra dessert, so you have to go find all these ingredients to make this ultra dessert. And it's pretty much you go through these platforming stages, doing some combat, then you get to a boss fight. The whole thing of the game is, though, you start with 1,000 lives, and once you get down to 0, it'll be game over. And it's so tough, some of these platforming segments. I think within the first 3 levels, I've already lost 50 lives. So it's going to be tough to finish this game. But it's, in platformers, if this makes any sense, when I want to jump and go forward, I like it to be, if I hit jump to jump in the air, I want to be able to hit right or left and still go through the air. In this game, if you hit jump and you're standing still, you're just going to jump straight up. You're not going to be able to move left and right, kind of like really old school. The only way you can jump left and right is if you're moving, and it's going to be a set distance. So you can overjump things a lot because it doesn't matter if you press the button softer or harder, it's going to jump the same height. So it's really frustrating doing the platforming. But the boss fights and stuff have been fun, so if you're in for a challenge platformer, give that a try. So since that was ticking me off, I took it out, and I put in the other game that I picked up in the pickup video. I forget the name of it now. Kinka Bancho, the Rumble game. It's just pretty much like a brawler, open-world brawler on the PSP. You go around as a Japanese high school student, and all the schools in Japan are going on a trip to this one town, and you want to be the toughest out of all the classes that are showing up there, so you're beating up their head leader. And that was pretty fun, but it just got repetitive and boring after about 2 hours worth of putting into it today while I was at work. It was that slow of a day, so I'm just sitting there playing that, and it's got a lot of customization for unlocking different moves for your fighters and stuff, but just got kind of repetitive over time. So I still don't know what I'm going to play on the DS. The PSP. I'm thinking about throwing in that Castlevania, like Dracula X Chronicles, but we'll see. So I have the urge to play a strategy RPG right now, so I'm probably going to pick up Fire Emblem and put everything else on the back burner. So we'll see where that goes. And not as much Halo 4 this week. I just played maybe 1 or 2 games worth of Halo, or 1 or 2 days on Halo 4 for this past session. So, and that's it for me.
All right. Dustin, would you like to go next, or would you like me to go?
I can go. I mean, I only have 3 things.
I have a few more than that.
Yeah, so we'll get mine out of the way.
Okay.
Most of my time has been spent with Etrian Odyssey 4, and coming off of Unchained Blades, this game, if you found Unchained Blades to be hard, this game is going to make you throw your 3DS. It's challenging, but at the same time, for me anyway, I want to keep pushing back, you know. Like I messaged you guys that I said, you know, in the past, 15 minutes I got 6 game overs in a row. Because I would just walk back into the dungeon and the first battle would just wipe me out. So you have to treat like every battle as a boss fight until you get to, you know, a certain level. But I've been having a lot of fun with that. I really love drawing the maps. I didn't think like I would, but there's just something about, you know, exploring these dungeons and having to draw your own map on the bottom screen. That just, it really takes me back to like when I was going outside and playing in like out in the woods and drawing maps and things like that. I don't know, it just takes me back to my childhood. But when I get sick of that, I throw in House of the Dead Overkill for the Wii. And if you guys have a Wii and you do not have House of the Dead Overkill, you need to go out and buy it like tomorrow, because it is one of the most fun, over-the-top games I've ever played. And it has this kind of weird, like, the Wii almost can't run it. It has like a weird stuttering to it that will throw your shots off every now and then. It's a light gun game. House of the Dead, you guys know that. But like the graphics will stutter every now and then, and it just throws your shots off. But if you can get past that, it's one of the best reasons to own a Wii. Like, I want to get more light gun games for my Wii. I really think I need to get more. And then the last thing is, it's a game that I played a while ago, but I don't know if I ever mentioned it, because I tend to forget iOS games when I talk about these things. But it's a puzzler called The Room, and it's like, I don't know, maybe $3 or $4 on iOS, and basically the entire thing is, it has kind of a weird little sci-fi story to it, But basically, the game just sets this box in front of you with all these different like puzzles and things on it, and you have to solve like I don't know, maybe it's like 6 or 5 boxes in a row to get to like the very end of the game, and it's just so much fun because it gives you like no instructions on what you're supposed to do. It just gives you like little hints here and there, but it's so fun to like rack your brain and try to figure out how to solve this box. So if you're into want to do a interesting puzzler, check out The Room on iOS. And that's really been it. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't mention Fire Emblem Awakening, that you finished that, but
well,
I'm sure
I talked about
it. Follows your channel.
Yeah. Didn't I talk about it last podcast though? That I was playing it.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
You were right at the tail end of it last podcast. So you're about to beat it.
Yeah, I finished that, and when you get to the end of that game, I'm telling you, Steven, when you get to the end of that game, if you play it like me, where you have the casual mode off, so when the player dies, they're gone, and you don't want to lose a unit, you are going to get so frustrated. Like, I think my final clock was like 20-some hours in that game, but it was easily double that because of all the times I've reset.
Oh yeah, I'm really into strategy RPGs. That's like my thing. So I think I will do that. I was going to be a little scared at first to do the permadeath on, but I'm confident in my strategy RPG skills. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll tackle it the same way as you. And if I lose somebody, I'm hitting the reset button. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I want to get into some more strategy RPG. It seems like a genre that I really would enjoy more than I play. I've played, the Final Fantasy Tactics quite a bit. I've played some others off and on, and I really enjoy it, but I just don't ever put that much time into them because I get turned off by the long battles sometimes. But, yeah, it really seems like a genre that I really need to, focus on because I think I would really like it. But other than that, I have a long list of games here again, not quite as long as last time, but primarily just because I picked up so many recently, and I finished several recently. Since the last podcast, I've beaten 4 games, only two of which I had already started and just hadn't finished, and the other 2 I started from scratch. I did finish To the Moon. Fantastic game. I don't really need to talk about it a whole lot, especially to you guys because you played it and you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I really wasn't going to do a video on it just because there's really no way to talk about that game at length without ruining anything. Just because it is, 100% story and, very simple gameplay. And I can't wait for the new ones that are coming out. I forget what that other one's called. Is it called Bird Story? Is that what the second one's called?
That picture I sent to you of To the Moon 2, that was just them kind of dicking around.
Okay, so that's not true.
Yeah, like
okay,
a Bird Story is going to be the lead-in to the next, like the kid that you're playing as in a Bird Story is going to be the patient in the next.
In To the Moon 2, okay, but it's probably not going to be called To the Moon 2, but
probably not.
Whatever they decide to call it, but really excited for Bird Story. I think that's going to be awesome, and I cannot stress enough, and as you guys have said also, for the price of To the Moon, it is such a good story that anybody and everybody should just go and download this game from Freebird Games. It is excellent. It is a masterpiece. And I had so much fun with it, even though I put it down for a long time because I kind of got stuck in one part. I didn't know where I was supposed to go. It turns out I wasn't really stuck. I just needed to go over and just just finish the thing right there. So I was stuck for no reason. But next I finished Heavenly Sword for the PS3. I think on the last podcast I had just picked up PS3, and that was one of the games that I got. It's a Ninja Theory game. I did a video on it, talking at it, and pretty in depth. I think it's one of my better pseudo reviews because I had just finished it, and it's such a short game, and I played it all at once. I played it in just the 2 weeks' time, and I don't know, it was a lot of fun, action hack and slash, really great music. The characters, the main character at least, was really kind of meh, but the villain was amazing. Andy Serkis delivered a fantastic performance as the villain in that game. I cannot stress that enough. It was just so cool. And I've watched some making of videos of that game and one of the other games that I've played, and I just love the style the motion capture filming that they did for these games, and with the voiceovers too. Like they use the same microphones for the voiceovers as they did with the motion captures, so it kind of stays with the same feel, and it just keeps the flow of the game really solid. And I just love that game. And Enslaved: Odyssey to the West was the other one with Andy Serkis in it. And my God, I'm sitting here thinking about it. I told Dustin before we started the podcast, that game is such a slow burner still for me. I said that in my video, but I'm sitting here thinking about it, and it's like I miss that game already. I just finished it last night, and I already miss the characters. Like I just want to go play it again right now. It's a fantastic game. Another Ninja Theory game I think I mentioned, and Andy Serkis once again plays a fantastic role as the main character this time. Monkey, post-apocalyptic, world, I guess. And once again, some of the things I want to say and some of the things I want to describe about this game really kind of give away the ending of the game. So I'm not really going to mention them. You should just go out and buy this game and play it if you're a fan of hack and slash games at all, because this is a fantastic game, and I did a video on it, so you can watch that. The only other game that I finished, and I don't even know if you can really count this as beating the game because of how bad I am at it, but it's Akai Katana. It's a game that Dustin sent to me recently, and it's a bullet hell shoot 'em up. It is fantastic. It's beautiful, and it plays really well, and it's hard as nails. It's for me at least, it's impossible to not die. But there's unlimited continues, so you can just blast right through it and beat the game essentially. Play all the levels, beat all the bosses, and in a half hour's time you can have the game beat. And it's got a ton of achievement points. So if you're into that sort of thing, which I kind of am, it is so fun to just blast through this game and all the different modes, and you get all kinds of achievement points for playing through it. It's great. It's great fun. Okay, next I've got several games listed here, and I haven't put too much time into any of these because I've been playing the other ones so much. I played today. I put in Nier again, a game that I started a while back, but I wanted something else to play since I finished Enslaved last night, and I started playing Nier. It's really fun. I'm kind of annoyed at the moment for how much fetch quests there are. Like I'm trying to find some lizard tails and rat tails right now, and it's kind of annoying me. But it's a really awesome game. The music on that game is worth the price of admission. It's so good. And it's amazing. I can't really say a whole lot about it right now because I haven't played for very long. But the characters are pretty awesome though. Castlevania Portrait of Ruin for the DS. I've put a little bit of time in that, probably about an hour and a half. It's fun. It's very much Castlevania with the side scrolling, classic Castlevania side scrolling. Complete with the whips and mashing out the candles and stuff that are hanging on the wall. It's really fun, and I just been playing it very lightly. Haven't really been paying that close of attention to the story. Maybe I should do that. And a couple of collections I recently picked up. I picked up Street Fighter Alpha Collection Anthology, and also the Mega Man Anniversary Collection. So I've been playing those just off and on. Some mindless fun with Street Fighter Alpha. Just playing, fighting, just randomly, not putting a whole lot of time into it. And the Mega Man, I've been playing Mega Man 2 and 3 a little bit, but not too much. But I don't own any of the Mega Man games, so this is really awesome to finally get to play some of those on a console instead of just playing ROMs. And then last but not least, a package from Grubgun that I received recently. I've been playing Dissidia, Final Fantasy for the PSP. Very briefly, it's really fun, kind of a fighting game on the PSP with Final Fantasy characters. So, yeah, that's it.
Cool. Maybe that'll be what I try to plug in the PSP and play, since I picked up Dissidia as well. I went and saw that it takes like 25 hours to beat, though, and it kind of put it on the back burner because of that.
Well, so far, I mean, I've only went through like the prologue, which is, just like the first, 15, 20 minutes of the game. It seems really fun. It's pretty easy at the moment, not a whole lot going on. But, and like, I think I was talking to you about it a little bit, I'm not really sure what's going on yet. And maybe I won't ever know what's going on, but it plays a little bit like a board game almost, like where you have to like move your character on this plane that's got these spaces on it, and you have so many points that you have to be able to move to that space, and then if you get to a space that there's an enemy, then it breaks into the fight part of it, and you actually, fight this person. So it's pretty fun, especially if you're really well versed on the all the characters in the Final Fantasy games, because it's got a ton of them. And I haven't played several of the Final Fantasy games, so there's only a couple of characters that I really recognize right away. Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, and I haven't even played that. I just recognize him. Tidus from Final Fantasy X, the nameless hero from Final Fantasy I. And basically all the others too. So, and the villains, same way. It's the whole premise of the game is that there's a disruption in the balance between between cosmos and chaos, and you're playing as the good guys trying to kick chaos's ass. So, pretty simple concept.
Nice. Well, I wish I had one more question to set off Jeremy on an epic rant to end this podcast with, but I can't think of any others, man. Unless there's something on your mind you need to get off.
No, I guess you'll just have to have me back, you know what I mean? And believe me, you just have to think of something else. And it doesn't take, like I said, it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much. Just the cartridge thing alone. I'll just mention that again next time. And I'm sure I'll find something else that pisses me off about that. But
well, we should all pool our money together and buy you a new freaking camera.
He got a new camera.
Oh, did you?
No. It's the same old camera. What's happening is I'm using a different program. I'm the capture program that I'm using is different. So for some reason the camera likes that one better. I'm surprised it doesn't go out of focus anymore. Like I'm ruining my shtick by not having it go out of focus. I'm gonna have to manually put it out of focus, but that wouldn't be as enjoyable, I don't think.
Well, now you have the lean in with the mouse, so that's the new shtick there.
That's bonus. That's fucking. I never thought of that with that new where I'm standing now. That there's nowhere to put the fucking mouse. I've got to lean into the bed to run the mouse. So I mean that's great. You get a bonus close up of my nose as I'm having to find the fucking pointer on my TV screen there. So that's a bonus.
I was going to say if anyone's listening who hasn't been Jeremy's channel. It used to be a continuous battle with his camera, trying to get it to focus on anything, and it made for some of the funniest moments in his videos.
Ever.
So if anyone knows what we're talking about, just go check it out. Just check out his channel, please. It's one of the most entertaining channels to me on YouTube. Even he's not even trying to be, but it's just so great and so funny to me. Just watching his channel.
That's what's so good about it. It's so spontaneous, and when his videos, he doesn't script anything. So when he starts the video and he goes off on this tangent, talking about something else entirely, and it's just so awesome. Then he's like, "Oh yeah, we're supposed to be talking about video games here," and he comes back to it for a second, and then he'll go off again about something else, and it's just awesome. I love everything about Grubgun's channel.
Well, I don't like not thinking about it beforehand. I don't know what I'd do if I had to think about it beforehand. They'd only last about 4 minutes because I'd stick to the point, and I don't know how to stick to the point. It's like what I do is it's like when the wrestlers go in the ring in WWF. All of them before they start their rant, they always say, and then after they say, all they have to do is like, Hulk Hogan, and they can just keep going on. Well, I start them all off with, hey, Grubgun here, and then that's the only thing that I know I'm going to say in the fucking video. And everything else is just,
bonus.
Well, you get what you get out of that.
It was awesome to have you, man. You were a great guest by far. Really enjoyed it. So definitely would try to get you back on again because you're just a pleasure and a joy to just sit back and listen to.
Well, thank you, gentlemen, for having me on the podcast. I was nervous to be on here because I really didn't think I had anything to fucking say. Because, like I said, I haven't played games that much. I mean, I got a lot of games, but the fact is that it's too intimidating to even start playing them. I thought, well, what are they going to ask me? They just want a bitter old man here to make fun of, is what it was. And so, I'm glad that got out of the way anyway. So.
Oh yeah,
Thanks.
man! It was absolutely a pleasure to have you on. We had done some trades through YouTube, so we'd messaged back and forth quite a bit, So I'm really glad to actually get to have a conversation with you. It's really awesome. You're very, very cool dude.
Thanks. I try my hardest.
Thanks.
I guess that's it. So we'll just say goodbye, everyone. Thanks for listening, and goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone. Thanks, Jeremy, so much for... I know that I haven't laughed this hard during a podcast yet, so that was... this was fantastic.
Thanks a lot.
So long,
Grubgun.
farewell.
Chance, cut him off. What? All right, everyone, bye. And...